We look at the summary question. Not every artist gets the cult they deserve, but Jane Austen certainly did. Not every artist gets a cult, even if they deserve it, but Jane Austen got a well-deserved cult. Today, a motivated Austen lover, or a Janeite, as the insiders say, could spend most of their waking moments jet-setting from one Austen symposium to another. So first, Jane Austen has a cult following. These Janeites can go from one symposium to another between colloquia in the Americas and the usual international conferences in Mumbai and Tokyo, etc. One can essentially live out a Jane Austen fantasy camp year round. So year round you have global conferences, symposiums and all, and Janeites keep attending them. Okay. I visited half a dozen while researching a book about the novelist's most fervent fans and often sought to blend in by adopting the proper wardrobe. So the author of this paragraph says he or she was researching a book about the novelist's most ardent, fervent fans and wanted to blend in with them. During research, you don't want to stand out, so wanted to blend in with them by adopting the proper wardrobe. Of course, I stuck out like a penguin in the tropics. Okay, but I was the odd one out. Why? Because at all these conferences, there's always one pronounced shortage. What's that? Men. So the author is a man. So you have Jane Austen cult. They have conferences, symposiums throughout the world. They keep jet setting from one place to another. The author who's doing a research on a novel wanted to know more research on Jane Austen fans, wanted to blend in with the crowd, but he stuck out like a sore thumb, like a penguin stuck in the tropics, because in all these conferences, there's always one pronoun shortage, and that is men. So he stuck out because he's a man. Easy. Let's see which of the options. You know your main points. Let's look at the options. Even though Jane Austen had a cult following, very few of her followers are men. Did the passage say Jane Austen had fewer male followers? No. There were few men, hardly any men in the conferences. That doesn't mean very few of her followers are men. So the second part of the passage is not implied in the paragraph. The second part of the option is wrong. We can't infer that from what has been given in the paragraph. That's not a gist. A summary has to be the gist of what has been given. Nothing has been said that men were not fans of Jane Austen. Therefore, one is wrong. Various symposiums and conferences on Jane Austen's works are a testimony to her cult following, yet they all lack men as her fans. The same problem. Right? She said this option also. The passage, the author says he was researching, he wanted to blend in with the crowd, but he stuck out because there was a shortage of men in the conferences, in the symposia that they were having on Jane Austen. That doesn't mean Jane Austen did not have male followers. So again, male fans. So this is also wrong. Jane Austen's cult following is demonstrated by the symposiums and conferences on her works, yet the author is an anomaly there because of the shortage of men at such events. Yes, this is the thing. It is not the shortage of Jane Austen followers among men. It is the shortage of men at conferences of the Jane Austen cult. Therefore, the answer is C. Look at option D. Even though the author is a motivated Jane Austen lover and attends all symposiums, he feels like an outsider because of the shortage of men. This has misrepresented what he has said. Right? He didn't say, I felt like an outsider in these events, though I love Jane Austen. He says Jane Austen has a cult following. The cult attends lot of conferences and all that. While researching on her best fans, most fervent fans, I wanted to blend in, instead I stuck out because in these conferences men are not there. This is not what D is saying. Therefore, my correct answer is C.